Welcome investor, today is a special video because I'm going to show you my latest off-plan investment in São Paulo, Brazil. Let's get to it. So let's start talking about the location. Why did I choose to invest here? First answer, location. Why? Because Chácara Santo Antônio is a neighborhood that is expanding fast. So that many investors around here call this place the next Brooklyn, because Brooklyn is a neighborhood slightly up north from here in the city. It has boomed already. Well, I bought another apartment last year there, and the value has already gone up. But here it has so much potential for growth and appreciation. That's the first motivation. And always regarding location, here on my back, behind me, you can see the American consulate. Why this is important? It's very important because many Brazilians are traveling here to get their visa, okay? To get to the States, to travel to the United States for leisure or for business. And this is a place that still lacks the many buildings that allow Airbnb in this area to stay a few days, okay, with your family, with these people that usually travel in a group to get all together their visa for the States. Okay, this is I would say the first motivation is the location first. Then going on forward to the building, let's get to this area where we can see the project more in detail. Here we have the building. The building is characterized by two types of units. The first type is 29 square meters and the second type is 39 to 40 square meters. So the first type is one bedroom and the second type is two bedroom. So what caught my attention besides the location is the floor plan of this type of apartments that we'll show later. The apartment that I bought is in the 19th floor, okay? Which is gonna give my tenants a pretty nice view of the city and of the consulate. You can see here, this building has a pool. That's gonna be a 20-25 meters pool on the ground floor, differently from other projects. I mean, every project is unique, as you know. But let's get to the interesting part. So this is gonna show you also how it is to buy an apartment in Brazil. You can see the experience. I mean, you get in a place like this and then they're gonna show you all the amenities, how the building is characterized. But one disclaimer before we go to the next part. This is no promotion in any shape or form, okay? I do not sell apartments in Brazil. I'm not a real estate agent, so this is just what I'm doing. So where do I invest my money in Brazil? That's why it's so interesting. This is not financial or tax advice. So once we've cleared this out, let's get to the next part. So the other motivations, why do I invest in apartments such as this one? The floor plan. The floor plan is amazing. When you think like an investor in Brazil, you want to get compact units where the space is fully optimized, okay? So you want to extract the highest possible amount of rent out of the minimum amount of square meters or square foot. That's the key philosophy here. So that's why I decided to buy a 39 square meter apartment with a two bedroom compact floor plan. This is an amazing floor plan. I know many of you will think, oh my God, I mean, it's so tight, the space. But I always say in all of these videos, you don't have to live here. You don't have to stay there. Don't worry. It's all about money going in and money coming out. If you want to buy for appreciation when you apply a resale, or if you want to buy for buy to rent, right? If this video caught your attention, click on like and subscribe. And if you want to know more about investing in Brazil and know if your investor profile is compatible with investments in Brazil, click on the link in the description and set up your strategy session with Grow Abroad Real Estate. As we discussed, two types of apartments, 30 square meters, 29, 30 square meters, one bedroom. This is called the technical area, so where the external unit of the air conditioning is going to be placed. We have it here as well. So we are gonna check the apartment in a few minutes. But here, that's another motivation. Why did I buy? Because this is one of the few projects in São Paulo that give you the tile flooring and also the laminated flooring already included in the price and in the construction. So once the construction is finished, you get the apartment with the flooring, which of course in other countries, in other cities can be obvious, but here in São Paulo it's not. I mean, specifically in São Paulo, usually you just have the cement, the concrete, and that's it. And so this specific factor is going to allow me to save money and time when I want to rent the apartment. Okay, so if I get it already with the flooring, that's it. I'm going to put the furniture and the other parts of the decoration, but this part that is probably the most painful, it's already out of the way. So let's do the 30 just to check it out. This is the 30 meters apartment with a separate bedroom. As you know, it's very compact because it's about rent potential. It's not about living in a big place, a big space. So here you have the bedroom. We go very quickly around here because it's not the model that I bought. And here you have the shower and the bathroom, the restroom. So let's get to the unit type that I decided to invest in. This is the 2-bedroom apartment. Of course, it's much more space, but still it's a very, very compact apartment. So we want to extract the maximum value out of the minimum amount of square meters here. So here, I mean, what they are going to deliver with up to here, there's going to be a glass door closing here, and then investors, of course, can expand it or leave it as a balcony outside. And behind here is going to be the technical area where I'm going to put the air conditioning external unit. And then, so here we have the kitchen with a space and connection for the washing drying machine. Then we have the kids' bedroom. It's very, very tiny and compact. I don't care, you know why? Because people are gonna stay here for a short time for the visas, for example, but also if you rent it out for long term, it's very good. Don't worry. I mean, when you see this type of sizes and you get scared, do not get scared, because in Brazil, people prefer to have a tiny space but private than to share an apartment with other people and having a big apartment. And Brazilians, probably it's funny, but Brazilians are probably the cleanest people on the planet. They have an average of 14 showers per week. So they do not want to mess around with other people untidiness around the house. So here we have an open sink, so this is going to be open, and then you have the shower separated from the sink area. And then here you have the bedroom, okay, the other bedroom, the main one, that is more space. But still, I know it's compact, but it in my opinion was definitely worth it. Why? Because every time you have a space that is not optimized, you're gonna pay for those extra square feet or extra square meters, you know, and that's not gonna add, in the majority of the cases, it's not gonna add value in the rent, okay? Because if you rent a 2-bedroom apartment in the same location and you rent 10 square meters more, it's not gonna rent proportionally to those extra square meters. That's key to understand in this investment process in Brazil. If you travel to South America, always try a good Argentinian wine. Now I'm gonna show you another very important factor, which is the view from the apartment that I bought. Here we have a simulator. I'm gonna show you what would be looking like the view. So here we can select the floor, right? So 18th is more or less the 19th. So we have a view on the American consulate. All of this is the American consulate, and also on the skyscrapers in the background, which is a pretty nice view to have on your Airbnb listing, for example. But why didn't I buy, for example, at the 8th floor, or at the 4th floor? Even for a lower value, this parking lot here in the front of the building is expected to grow 4 stories. So I don't want my Airbnb listing to have a parking spot as a view. So when you invest in Brazil and you go to the showroom of the project that you want to analyze, of course you're going to get always a book like this with all the project details and advantages and features and so on and so forth. One of the key factors, probably number 2 in this project, was the payment scheme. So how do they pay for this apartment? So first, starting with a down payment of $11,000, so around 60,000 reais. And then the payments are gonna split in 2 main components. So during the project construction, 30%. We'll check it out later in the next video. It was probably around 27%, spread in 3 years. So there are gonna be installments of like $175 per month, plus some every 6 months, another higher fee to pay and everything, but installment to pay. But still, it's very, very competitive, these payment terms. So what's the strength of this? That if I do not put that much money down during the construction, I can use my money to invest in other things. For example, ETFs, or even the Brazilian renda fixa, so the fixed income in Brazil, that is now giving 15% per year. This is no financial advice, be aware. I mean, it's just examples. So I can invest, for example, in my company. That's gonna be giving me much more return than leaving my money here and paying in advance all the project, right? Still, I'm fully aware that I have to pay the INSS, so the index of increasing the construction materials along the construction period. That's a factor that you always have to consider. But this INSS is going to be integrated in the increase in property value. So let's say that along 3 years of the construction, because we are considering an off-plan project, is going to increase 30%, this compounded rate, okay, the INSS. Okay, but this 30% is going to be integrated in the property value, increase the appreciation of the property, so I'm not that scared, honestly. And if I put money in other investment, it's going to give me a higher return. So in this case, the developer is called Canopus. Canopus has already delivered projects and is already building projects in São Paulo, in the state of Minas Gerais as well, and in the state of Rio de Janeiro. So originally it was from the state of Minas Gerais, where Belo Horizonte is located, just to give you a reference, and is now expanding strong in São Paulo. And so this project particularly is going to have all the amenities that you can imagine. I mean, now in Brazil, it's booming, this amenity thing. It's not something that is common in Europe. In the States, it's quietly common, I would say, depending on the city, of course. But here we have a fully equipped gym. We have a party room where you can invite your guests and friends. Usually you rent that space for $100 per day, typically. And then, I mean, there are some things that are not necessarily useful for renting out an apartment, but still, if you want to rent it out long term, probably some guests, some tenants will appreciate these amenities. So here you have like a beauty area and also an exterior place. This is one that I personally use in a building here inside in Chácara Santo Antônio sometimes, is the massage room. Here in Brazil, you can invite a professional massagist to your place. You're gonna spend probably around 300 reais, or if you go for 2 people 1 hour, this is a competitive price, but still from there upwards. So here it's another, this is called Espaço Gourmet, so where you invite people and cook together, and like a party place as well. And then, I mean, here you have the kids playground and so on and so forth. Be careful with one detail. When you have a lot of amenities and the units of the buildings are a few units, that's gonna imply a high cost divided by few units, and that's gonna increase your HOA fees. But in the case of these buildings, there are hundreds of units, so I'm not worried if they have lazer completo, which is the full amenities range, okay? As an investor, I care about this up to a certain point.